right, welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I think the kids call this Hump Day. I think that's what the term is. I like to think of it as Wednesday 13 Day because, as those of you who watch on a regular basis know, that Wednesday stops by fittingly on Wednesday. And so, anyway, I'm so glad that he's here. I'm glad that you're here. I'm running a little bit late. It's better if I said I was running a little bit hot tonight, but that's something totally different. We're going to look at everybody's comments, and then I'll explain while I was late. We might have a friend stopping by, but anyway, as you know, we got a lot to get to, and starts right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody I know to waste time with you. All right, here he is, Wednesday 13. How are you?
Hello. I'm
Wednesday
good.
first.
I had a 45-minute nap today, compared to my 4-hour naps I normally have. I'm trying to cut my napping down. I've been too lazy since I got back from Europe. So
Warm weather is more motivating, I find. Cold weather, a lot of napping. At least that's what I think. Sun's up more, and
yeah.
but let me explain my tardiness because our friend Sean Clark called me, and we were talking some business stuff because we do some business stuff together in addition to talking about movies and TV. And so we were going over some stuff, and then we just started going. He was nice enough. He was just in Japan with Norman Reedus, who was a rock star in his own right.
Yes.
And he found some Japanese RATT tour books that he was nice enough to get for me, which was really cool. I guess he was in a record store, and they had him. He called me. Collector is always looking out for fellow collectors, and so we started chatting about that, and then we started talking. He's going to be in Vegas, and we started talking about all the random plans and Sparky Marcus, and the next thing you know, we lost track of the time. And then Sean was singing the Dream Warriors because that it sounds bizarre, but now I can't get it out of my head.
It's a good one to have in your head, though. If you're going to have a Dawkins song in your head, I would probably rather have Dream Warriors than many others, probably.
Or like Just Got Lucky. Yeah.
Yes.
I think, or The Hunter. Yeah, no, I agree. Now they're all going to be in my head. But so I was talking to Sean, and I thought the same thing when I talk to any of my friends in real life. Well, why are we giving this away? Why do we not interact without an audience watching? So in the event that Sean would like to stop by, I invited him, and he can come and hang out with us. He's going to be doing a online horror trivia podcast. It's a lot, but he's doing that in a little while. But he said he may stop in, so we'll see what happens with that. Let's look at some comments Wednesday before we get too caught up, because I let these comments go, and then they get upset, and then the young people, your fans, they start to. I met a lovely young lady. I believe her name was Jackie, and her dad at the M3 festival. And I want to say that a lot of dads and parents, mothers too, they will get my attention for their kid who watches the show and take a picture or something. And I think it's really cool because I like to prove that there's a deeper demographic to this show. It's not just talking about the 80s bands, although young people love those 80s bands now just as much as we did in the 80s. So, but it's so nice to meet these people. And I said, you're proving that my demographic is not 65. I also have a lot of boyfriends pull over their girlfriends who say they watch the show, and vice versa. There's girls too. Most couples don't seem to watch together this show. But when I met this young lady, I said, "What's your favorite part of the show?" And then I said, "Wait, let me guess." And I onced her over. She's a minor, so it was a brief once over. And I said Wednesday 13th, and I was correct. The kids Wednesday, they love you.
That's good. That's good. Kids
Wednesday,
love
as you and I spend more time together, become better friends. And as
Mhm.
I become more familiar with your music, I feel like you should be a lot bigger than you are. I know
Well,
that
let's
people love.
let's let's work on that.
Yeah,
Let's
I think
let's do it.
I think
Let's
we
get
can
it
do.
bigger.
I think in this year we can do some branding for you. You're already doing it, but I mean, the
Yeah.
people who connect with you love it, and what you do is not going to get old. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the
it's
band.
kind of survived. It's survived 20 years of doing this stuff. So and now everything I'm singing about and doing is pretty much mainstream. It's crazy. It's that's a good thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be putting a new record out next year. Just COVID screwed everything up, and for everybody, and just slowed everything down. And so yeah, getting the momentum going again. I feel like stuff's going good. We got tours happening and all kinds of stuff. Like I've got plans going into next year, which is
Well,
good.
in just a minute, Wednesday, we call this a teaser in the business. In just a minute,
Hmm.
we're going to announce a brand new tour and brand new opportunities for
Yeah.
people to see you. But I see you on these bills, and listen, I'm sort of a fair weather fan of certain genres, but I say, I think Wednesday gets a crowd going better than a lot of bands, and I see the following that you have in the audience. And I think now more than ever, and I'll be honest with you, Wednesday, I've told you this before, I didn't completely get the Murder Dolls. Maybe I
Hmm.
wasn't in the right time at the right place. Maybe I wasn't at the right age. Who knows?
I think the
But
dreadlock scares you off.
I'm scared of your dreadlocks for sure.
Yeah, you were
Um,
like, "What is this? I don't know about this."
but now listening to it, it's just like all the fun, punk and metal that I enjoy. And as I meet other people who like it, I do think to myself that I would rather see Wednesday 13 than a lot of these acts who maybe do similar things or similar themes. But we'll get to all of that in a minute. We got to talk to the audience because I'm here
Yeah.
because of them. Happy Hump Day to Jason Wednesday and all the time wasters. That's Clint. He was first tonight. Wednesday's cat. Happy Wednesday, ghouls. And Wednesday's cat is here. M is here. Hello, Jason. Wednesday, the Wednesday 13 Army. We got to get we got to get
Yeah,
a
they have
real.
Wednesday 13 Army is always posting cool pictures and stuff before I even find it on the internet. I basically wake up and they've already got all the latest. I'm like, whoa, I just share their pictures. So thank you
Well,
guys.
how cool. And but we got to get the Wednesday 13 Navy and the Wednesday 13 Marines
Yeah.
and really form or branch because I think that the old grassroots street team method, when you and I were young, Wednesday, they had street teams. People went out and flyered and
Yeah.
called MTV.
Can
And
you imagine having a Navy to go promote your stuff? Like, hey, pull your boat over. What did I do wrong? Check this
Mhm,
band out.
or the
Thanks.
Marines, Semper
Carry
Fi.
on. Yeah.
Uh,
Or
hoorah.
what was that movie, Captain Phillips, where they hold you down with a AK-47 and make you listen to it? That's how you do it.
Well, listen, we're brainstorming. We're talking ideas here, but anyway, I think that there's these fans who are so passionate about you would love to see you promote. Julie Shackleton, when wasting time with two of my favorite people. Thank you, Julie, and Kendall Lynn. Can't wait to waste some time with Jason on Wednesday 13.
We're doing
Heidi
it.
is watching
I
all the
moved to
way.
a bottle this week. I'm out of cans.
Bottle
So,
tastes better, I think. No.
um, I'm kind of a can guy, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just been enjoying Coke Zero. I don't know. It's kind of my thing. I get like one or two a day.
I'm a Coke Zero person as well. Obviously, no, I don't drink any sugar. Um, Heidi is watching from Finland, and she would love to see you come back again soon.
Well, I
And
think we will be coming back again soon. Now, soon is not probably going to be this year because I think we have our year finished out, but next year, absolutely, because our reaction and everything for the finish shows we did on the last tour were really, really strong. So uh, I think it's going to be a no brainer to go back there.
Rask is watching all the way from Sweden, so thank you so much.
Sweden too. I'd love. I mean, we've played Sweden before. We played Stockholm, we played Gothenburg, and it sucks. I wish more people came out to see us. Our Stockholm show is usually good, but the other ones are kind of, it's not enough to cover that ferry to get over. So it's a lot of politics. It's not that we don't like that. Scandinavia is one of my favorite places, and I think it's one of the places that gets us. And I told my manager we needed to work on that territory. So
You know,
maybe next year.
Maybe Stockholm syndrome is the issue.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry, I got crazy. I just did my hair today, and I got one crazy hair that's just like poking me in the eye somewhere. So I'm not.
Eyebrows are looking good Wednesday.
Thank you, thank you. They're coming in. You know, I have these are my hangout eyebrows. Now I could do going to the club, going out on. I've got different ways of doing them already. So it's a whole new world for me. You know,
Yeah,
like
and
I said,
because you do go to the club so often.
down in the clubs and the clubs.
Pepperman, I get up at 3 a.m. so I can watch the next day. I'm getting my ticket for September shows at the Machine Shop in Flint
Yeah.
on sale Friday at 10 a.m. I have a couple questions for you Wednesday. All right, well, let's see
All
if we
right.
can
That's going to
answer
sell
them.
out. We're doing 2 nights there, but we'll talk about the tour and stuff. But that's a kind of a smaller place, but it's one of the cool, probably my favorite place to play when I tour. They just have been playing there for years, and they go on sale this Friday, and I think it's going to sell out both nights. It absolutely will by showtime. So get your
Okay,
tickets.
so yes, and we'll have the link in a minute, but officialwednesday13.com.
Yes.
Pepperman, also the questions were, will there be meet and greets? Of course there will be.
Already
You
on sale.
Go to, yeah, and that's going to sell out too. So go to officialwednesday13.com, pre-order your meet and greets.
Yeah.
The coolest thing is,
OfficialWednesday13.com. As soon as you click on it, there's, at least on my phone, as soon as you go there, the first thing you see, it says the picture of me that you have advertised on the little thumbnail. And it says USA and Europe VIPs are all available there. If people want to know about the UK, those are available through the venues. You get them cheaper because you can buy a ticket and get the VIP. These are separate from the other things. So if people are asking where the UK dates are, but everything is lined up for all the shows we have this year.
and let me explain a little bit. Touring is an expensive process. Tour buses are an expensive process. Traveling is an expensive process. And so these meet and greets really help offset the cost of doing this. It's a really important part. If you want to contribute to the band, it's almost as important as buying a t-shirt. But Wednesday doesn't do these things begrudgingly. It's not like hurry up and get out. You do have time with him. He will sign whatever you bring that's, Murder Dolls or Wednesday 13 um, related. But it's a nice way to get a cool picture and a moment. I pay for these things. I'm telling you right now, I do it. I like to go to people's meet and greets. I like to meet my favorite people
Yeah.
and support them a little bit.
It
If he was,
helps. It helps so much. There have been nights that we did meet and greets, and we made more money on the meet and greets than we did our actual show guarantees. And it became apparent on the last tour we were doing so many meet and greets. It was kind of like that was outdoing our guarantees. We don't make a ton of money on these shows, but those meet and greets help help make it right. And and I'm doing this tour right now. I'm doing the budget, and when it comes to merchandise and VIPs, you're trying to do the budget. It's guessing. It's a gamble when you order merchandise. Well, how much do I order? Do I order halfway through and then get another thing? VIPs, you don't know how many you're going to have. Sometimes you sell more the day before. It's just all that means so much now because it's expensive, and everybody has to make money. It's just this is our job. It's just a really fun job, except for
if
all this stuff I'm talking about now.
you got it, and you want to meet Wednesday, hang out, support it. Like I said, you'll have a fun time. You'll get a cool photo for your social media. All right, let's get to the important question. I think I can answer this already. Does Wednesday like rhubarb pie? And the answer is no.
Don't
Wednesday
even
doesn't
know
even know
don't
what
even know what it is. The
it
name
doesn't
of
even
it,
know
I'm
what it
like
is.
not interested.
But it's nice of this person Wednesday. They were offering to bring you
Yes.
one because
Oh,
rhubarb
is
is
that what that means? I thought they were just asking if I liked it, just as
no.
a
It's
just a
I
random
think they
question. I don't
it's
know.
it's
I would say I don't like it just because I don't know what it is, and
Is
I'm
there
probably
any
gonna
pie that you like?
any pie. I really,
He likes Pazookies. It's a
I
cookie
need to
and ice
give
cream.
pie another try, and I'm not trying to rhyme, but it did rhyme. because I like the idea of it. I just think I was just scared of it. I don't know. It was just alien to me. My mom used to make like pudding, chocolate pudding pie, maybe.
Mhm.
And I used to eat that. I guess I just kind of forgot about it till you brought it up just now.
You're a creature of habit. That might be a
I'm a
song for the
creature.
that
I
might
don't
be a
know.
song for your next record. I've added a
Yes.
lot of new creature toys behind me. They're on that shelf there. Maybe later we'll
He's the best to collect out of all that. It's almost every toy is almost good of the creature in every. There's been a couple of stinkers here and there, but most of
one
those toys are the best. I
one of
can't
the
exactly see, but it looks like I have one or two of them.
Oh, I bet you do. I'll bring them up in a bit. One is a bank, and the other two are figures. Um, but the one of the reasons that the creature was so marketable and licensable, if that's a word, was that the creature movie came out so much later. I believe the creature's 40s or 50s. I think it's 50s, and so marketing was really in. When you look at Dracula and Frankenstein, 1931, no one it was exactly knowing that you could sell all these toys and products as time went on. A lot of people saw the creature first. I tell this story all the time. The first time I saw the creature, it was on 3D on Channel 11 in New York City, WPIX. You had to go to Burger King to get the glasses. It was the red and blue
Yeah, yeah.
glasses.
Mine was the same thing. Was at the fast fair, and you got the three movies that week or whatever. It was Creature. Some eight movie could have been the eight
The
with
eight movie.
Lugosi.
It's so
Yeah,
funny. Wednesday, we lived in such different
yeah,
places,
right.
but
Yeah,
have the same memories. The eight movie is
same
the other one.
thing.
It was a guy in
I
an
was
ape
so
costume.
small that the 3D glasses didn't fit my head. They wouldn't fit on. So my dad took a rubber band and fashioned it around. So I had the thing stuck to my head like I was, Cyclops or some X-Men
Evil.
character, but I was into it.
Yeah, but it's funny, the 8 movie too, and maybe Sean, if he's watching, will stop in. He'll probably know the name of it. But it's a guy in a gorilla suit. It's a terrible movie.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it might just be called the Ape. It might be Lugosi in that, I believe.
yeah,
Uh, yeah,
maybe. When they
and
did
then there was
3D
another movie too that it was like there were like three, and it was like go to your local. Ours was the Fast Fair, which was kind of like the 7-Eleven of North Carolina, I guess.
oh, gotcha, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
Fast Fair. At least I thought it was. In my mind, it was like we're going to Fast Fair. That's where stuff happened.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, hello, Jason and Wednesday. I went to Wawa, the other day,
I
and
love Wawa. Oh my God, we call it Wawa country. Anywhere we get where Wawas are like pull in there.
and when I got to Wawa, I learned that, I ran into Johnny Martin, who I didn't think liked me. I thought
I,
Johnny
I,
Martin
I
and I
watched your story. I heard you guys have you've
we're
become
we're
buddies now.
besties. Yeah, we're
That's
besties.
good.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
probably
I know
gonna
I know Johnny from touring with his band. He was in a band called Chelsea Smiles with Todd Youth, who I told you I started the band with for a short period, and that was a cool tour. And that's how I knew of him for the first time, and I knew he was a good player because all the guys Todd Youth didn't pick anybody bad. Every single guy in that band, with the exception of the singer, who was not a bad guy, the rest of those guys were all technical dudes. Like I think the guitarist in that band now went on to play for like Ricky Martin or something, and the drummers in Danzig and Michael Monroe's band, Carl Rockfist. So it was like that's where I first met Johnny.
I
And
remember the name of the band, and I remember them playing. Wednesday, I have this problem that I'll confess because it's just you and I and 300 people.
mhm.
Um, I usually hate everyone. I just assume I'm gonna hate everyone, including you probably, and,
Yeah,
you
I've
was
kind
just a
of went through
judge.
that phase. I try not to be that way. As you see, when you dislike people or say things, I kind of just sit here and smile and go, I just don't.
You know who I never thought I hated though? Sean Clark. Here he is. Oh, he's
Oh,
having a
there
session
he
beverage.
is. What's up,
Hey, what's
Sean?
up?
Hey,
Sean,
hey,
Gorilla
hey.
at Large.
wow, Gorilla at Large,
Gorilla
is
at
that the name?
large.
Yeah,
Okay, there you
That
go.
was the name of the movie.
Now
in
we know.
3D.
Oddly enough, it was a trivia question in the last trivia thing we played a few weeks ago.
Yeah, amazing. Here's
And I
Andrea.
admittedly couldn't remember it. But now I remember it because it's
Is
Yeah,
there.
that easy to find? I don't even remember or even recall seeing that anywhere recently, or I don't know. It's kind of not heard about.
No, I honestly don't really remember it very well.
Well, now I
The
got something to
3D
look up
movies
on
I
YouTube.
remember were Creature and House of Wax. Remember what House of Wax with the paddle ball, and it was coming right at you the whole time?
I don't remember that. Maybe my reception on my TV was horrible. That was another thing was worse with that 3D. You had the 3D, which is already not the greatest, and then you've got the rabbit ears, and you're trying to watch it. It's just like I think that's you're just the idea made it good, but I don't I don't think it was doing anything good for us.
Do you
Yeah.
remember Molly Ringwald and Peter Strauss movie called Space Hunter?
Oh yeah.
Michael Ironside.
Forbidden Zone, Space
Yes.
Hunter. Yes, yes.
That was a bad
Long
movie.
title movies were always good. I would check them out. Like, oh, I got to watch that.
That
I
was a
used to
bad
always
movie.
mix that up with Metal Storm. That was Metal Storm and something of Jared Sin. Something.
Yes, me too. I mixed those up. There was
Yeah.
Krull or something too at that point that I don't know why.
But Krull wasn't 3D. Metal Storm
No,
was
okay.
3D. Space
Yeah.
Hunter was 3D. Coming
You
at
always
you.
knew-
Remember Coming at you?
I forgot about Coming at You.
All the 3D movies back then got Amityville 3D, Jaws 3D, Friday 13th Part 3D, Parasite. Remember Parasite?
hmm
Um,
I've learned as I got older, the doctors told me that my vision is color deficient. I don't see colors so well. So I can see certain colors, but maybe like if we all looked at the sky and said it's blue, we might actually all see it differently. And I learned that as I would wear 3D glasses, sometimes nothing would happen. So sometimes when I go on these attractions and things where you put them on, it's less than exciting. If you had those color blind tests, I fail them every time. Like what's the number in the middle? Or when you used to go to the mall and they would have those stupid pictures and either was a hidden thing inside the fish or whatever. I never
Mallrats.
actually. Yeah, Mallrats. That's right.
No.
Yeah, great scene. I never
could
would
never
have.
see those
Goddamn
things
sailboat.
I could never see them. I was with that guy.
That's me. Yeah, I couldn't see them. But we're
Never.
talking about some great 3D movies. We're also talking about Sean. I don't know if you're like this. Wednesday said he used to be. I just assume everyone's a jerk, and then what happens is I end up meeting the people, and then I go, oh, you know what? I was wrong about that one. Do you have that thing, Sean?
I kind of hate everybody. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm it's funny that the three of us seem to get along.
I thought that too. I as we were talking, we were starting this, I thought we all get along very well and we have a lot in common. But it's funny because I think we're all pretty anti everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm good at dealing with people. I think you have to be doing in this business. You have to be able to tolerate people and just kind of smile. And if you don't really like someone, you go, "This is going to pass in a few minutes. I'll be out of here." But but yeah, for the most part, I don't like people, and I don't know. I just kind of went through the phase where I used to vent and say everything I didn't like, and I just it hasn't done anything good for me. So I just keep my mouth shut. I'll let you do it for me, Jason. So you do it for me, Jason. I don't have to say most stuff.
I do, but then I regret some of the people that I bash. Not all, but some. Queensryche is the prime example. It's nothing personal against anyone in Queensryche. They're all very nice guys. I just find it strange that. Oh, is there one that you don't like?
There's one in particular I don't think is very nice.
In the current band, though, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, now I'm fascinated. Well,
one of the guys that makes one of my records, I think, does all of their new music. Might even be a writer on their stuff.
If I had to guess which one's not the nicest, it's definitely one of the original members, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and I know I think I know which one it is. But
well, I might as well say it, narrowing it down to two. There's only two fucking guys left in the band. It's
true.
Michael.
Okay, I would have guessed Eddie. So yeah,
really?
What do we know?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I don't know their names. I just know the Jeff Tate and the drummer had chains on his drums.
Scott Rockenfield, one of my favorite.
There you go. That's a good name. He's a great drummer. I didn't know his name.
So Scott Rockenfield and Jeff Tate really. Chris DeGarmo and Jeff Tate. Yeah, they really wrote the songs. They were the main guys. So those three are not in the band anymore. So I've been hard on the band. I will tell you, we play a lot of shows. We have the same agent as Queensryche. And I tell you, I run into Michael Wilton all the time. He looks right through us. We've sat at me and Johnny have sat at tables with him. At the very least, say hello.
That's the guy.
Yeah,
Maybe he can't see you.
He's very small.
He's looking right through you.
He's a small guy too, but he's never said hello. And
right.
you know, I'm not saying we should be besties, but you're eating at the same table, and if we said hello, hey Michael, still would look right through us. So I'm very friendly with their tech though. He used to date Nita Strauss, who I managed at one point, and he's a great guy. His name is Bender. I don't know if that's his God-given name, but when I saw him, I said, "You are my favorite part of Queensryche," and I thought these guys don't watch this show. They're not going to know how critical I've been. But it is that there's a few things. One, it's not the main guys. Two, they don't fit what they call a hair metal festival. When you have these bands, Pretty Boy Floyd and Tesla or Dokken, RATT, these bands all have sing-along, Firehouse, Warrant, Bret Michaels, whoever.
I agree with you.
Yeah, and then Queensryche comes on, and it can be pretty boring.
See, I never got into Queensryche because when I was wearing my glam t-shirt, I'll never forget wearing my Enough's Enough shirt through school. And I'm going through the hallway and it was just nothing but like Queensryche and Dream Theater shirts were starting to pop up because that was the new band then. And all those people hated me. So I've always associated them with the band that was anti that whole thing. So that's just my thing. And then over years, I'm like, oh, they were actually a pretty good band. I just couldn't get into them. So,
well,
I'm an old school Queensryche fan. The first the EP, The Warning, and the third album, not Operation Mindcrime. The one, why is it escaping me?
The Warning, Rage for Order.
And,
yeah.
Wow, they had that many before that one.
Yeah. Operation Mindcrime didn't do anything for me, but I saw them on the Warning tour. I saw them on Rage for Order tour. They were phenomenal. So.
My brother had their cassette, and I thought they were. It was one of the cassettes I didn't want to listen to. I was like, I'm going to listen to Animalize instead.
What did that say? It said you popped something on there for so quick I couldn't read it. It said, "Can Sean something Wednesday?"
Oh, they wanted. That's a good point. They want a Wednesday mask. Sean, maybe you can
make
license
masks anymore.
Yeah, Sean is retired, but maybe Trick or Treat Studios or one of these companies can make a Wednesday mask.
For sure. I'll hook you up with them.
I ordered a Toxic Avenger mask this morning. I finally did it, and I played the Toxic Avenger several times, but I figured I should have the mask. One of the things that the three of us have in common, at least to my knowledge, is that we weren't really sort of prejudiced against different musics. We were able to grow up listening to different things. I can tell you, for me, I love punk music. Punk music is what I wanted to play, but I certainly love listening to glam metal, but I liked heavier stuff too. And no one judged me. The way I mean, no one liked any of it where I went to school, but it was kind of fun. I can listen to Yngwie Malmsteen and Johnny Ramone in the same day and not be biased. And I feel like both of you have similar stories. We all like everything.
Yeah.
And it's great to have that
photo. I've got this great photo. It's actually my screensaver on my computer. It's somebody took a picture of the back of my car in high school, and I have it like blown up. Like they gave me like an 8x10 of it. This was like in photography class, and it's just covered with stickers of the bands I liked, and it's cool. All over the place. It's like Misfits, Suicidal Tendencies, XL, Cro-Mags, Love and Rockets, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Psychedelic Furs, PIL, Jane's Addiction. It's just a mishmash of different genres of music, and I got along with everybody. I never had there were cliques at my high school, but I got along with everybody, so
I don't think anybody at my school had any stickers on their car now that I'm thinking about it. My dad wouldn't allow it. He'd be like, "Don't you punk up that car." He was like, no way. Like he'd be like, wake up on Sunday morning, like, hey, it's 9 a.m. Get out here and wash the car. And he'd have like a bucket and a sponge. I'm like, are you serious? You're gonna earn this. Mike, you're gonna respect this 1979 Honda hatchback in 1993. Yes, sir. Yes,
No, when I
sir.
went to school, we
Dude, I
drove
had a
a
gremlin, so it only made it look better.
Wow,
That's
how fitting.
people don't know how that sounds cool, if you don't know what
Yeah.
a gremlin is.
No, it sounds cool. They just haven't seen one,
Does not
probably.
look cool.
Yeah, you were on your way though in the horror world at a young age. But I think that's one of the fun things. But just to finish up on Queensryche, so I think it's weird that lineup is there. When they were on the cruise one year, they played 10 new songs and like 3 hits. I thought, wow, that's a ballsy move. And
Very much.
this time at M3, they played a lot of the first two. You would have liked it. They sounded fantastic. I mean, the guy, his name is Todd LaTorre, the singer. He's a drummer actually, but he obviously can sing. They were good, but they didn't play any of those Mindcrime hits. They ended the set with Empire as their big hit. I thought there's so much bigger hits. It was also raining, and I thought another rainy night without you would have been fitting in that weather. No Eyes of a Stranger. I don't think they even played Silent Lucidity, which I'm okay never hearing again as well. But so a lot of people were leaving. Stephen had a good show. The band was great. Blas Elias has really been a new force, especially at those kind of shows where people know him and see how much energy.
You got me thinking. What's a better, worse song just to play and try to keep your composure listening to? Silent Lucidity or Eric Clapton's song where his son fell to his death? The song title escapes me right now, but you know what I'm talking about.
It's called Tears in Heaven. Yeah.
Right. So I'm so sort of like a FMK, but a sort of which song could you play and just be
It's a
like,
good question,
man,
Wednesday.
you could probably
I'm
mix
gonna
them up
say
and maybe sing the Silent Lucidity over Tears in Heaven over Silent Lucidity.
boy,
Mash it up.
I'll take Sean's camera off until he comes back. I think I think he takes Silent Lucidity because at least no children fell out a window. You know, that's pretty heavy shit.
I know. I was informed by Miss 13 that's why bars were put on the apartments and stuff in New York City.
That's true.
Thanks to this little kid trying to play games.
She's a New Yorker, as am I, and that is true. They were supposed to have bars where I grew up. They had them. What do you have there?
That's my Warning tour book.
Damn.
And they did a signing at Tower Records by my house.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Original, the real lineup, no bullshit.
The real lineup, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I was just thinking about it the whole time we're talking about Queensryche. I was like, I gotta show. I knew it was right there. It was kind of hidden.
Yeah, no, that's certainly cool. Sean, if you had to listen to a song, would you rather hear the Pink Floyd rip-off Silent Lucidity or the Falling to Your Death song, Tears in Heaven?
Yeah, Eric Clapton's.
Eric Clapton.
Mm-hmm. I think the Clapton is a better song.
It is.
But boy, what a sad thing.
But I'd rather hear "I'm Gonna Get Close to You," the creepy stalker song. I like that one.
I'm trying to decide if I go see Eric Clapton. He's going to play the Hollywood Bowl. I hate the Hollywood Bowl, as everyone does. But I've never seen him. I've blown it off a million times. I don't know how much longer he has. I'm sure he's not very exciting. I'm sure he's sitting. But I'm contemplating. But anyway, let's finish up on Queensryche. So when they're and like I said, people were leaving. RATT was the party. It was a long night. It was cold. It was rainy, and and they were playing really deep cuts. People there wanted to hear certain songs. They didn't get to hear them. I'm sure some diehard fans liked it, but if they were really a diehard fan, they were probably at a Jeff Tate show. So anyway, after the show, we're backstage. And I didn't think they know who I am, so who cares? But the Todd guy does always come say hello to me, and I go, he knows. He knows. He knows what I'm saying. But so he's
I
polite.
I saw them. I saw that version. Wasn't that long ago. It was I went to see John 5 and John 5 opened for them at the House of Blues Anaheim. And I watched a few songs. I left. I mean, the guy can sing, but just because he sounds good and sounds like him, I mean, I want to see Jeff Tate. I want to.
Yeah.
Jeff Tate also had a stage presence. He had a there was something more to him than just the voice. He had a very sort of theatrical vibe to him that, is missing, especially Scott Rockenfield. I mean, that guy is such a fucking great drummer and so fun to watch too. He was just with those two guys missing, man, it's just not the same band. I'm sorry.
So what video was it where he had the chains on his drum? Bringing that back up. The reason I bring that up because I have a funny memory of that. That
was the Warning video because I think that was from their live Tokyo show. And
but there was a mainstream video when they first started popping on MTV. So that would have been Eyes of a Stranger. He still had chain drums in that video or one of the main.
I think he did. I think he kept it in those non-crime videos.
Yeah, he did. Well, the reason why, because it was on regular MTV, and I remember sitting in the back of the class when I first learned how to play guitar, and I was like looking for other musicians, and there was this other nerd beside of me in the back of the class who was failing as much as I was, and he said, "You play guitar?" And I'm like, "Yeah." We're trying not to let the teacher hear us, and he so you play drums, and he's like, "Yeah." What kind of drum set you got? Because I had like an Ibanez. I was ready to talk gear. I had a crate and an Ibanez. I'm ready to go. And I said, what kind of drum set you got? And he's like, the one with the chains. Whispered that to me in the back of the class. I went like, this guy. And of course, later, he never was one of those musician guys. He's just bullshitting me.
So I got a funny story for you.
All right, hold on, Sean.
Okay.
Hold on, Sean, 1 second. I just want to there's people super chatting, and I'm going to answer all those questions next, and I'll owe the guys dinner because everyone is so generous. But we're going to get to all those questions, and I am going to finish the Queensryche story. But okay, Sean, go ahead.
Well, it just made me think of the chains and the drum set thing. So I'm a drummer, and I used to love how Robert Sweet had the cymbals hanging from the chains, and he'd hit them and they'd fly around and shit, which is a nightmare for somebody to mic for a live show. But I mean, he'd hit those things live, you'd never hear them, But I remember how cool it was, and I wanted that so bad. We moved into this house when I was 14 years old. We moved into this house that had an old swing set in the backyard, like a jungle gym. And it had one of those, you kind of crawl across, things. I took it, put it in my garage, my drum set under it, and I mounted cymbals from it with chains.
Oh, shit.
I was able to have my own, cheesy version of the Robert Sweet drum set.
That's pretty cool. You could have someone with a boom stand, like in the old, tech. That could be the.
You can make it fun if they move it and you're trying to hit it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a game of it. Yeah. Before we came on the air, I told Sean that we should go see Stryper. When Sean was young, he caught a Bible, but did you sell the Bible?
I did. Yeah.
So we got to get a new one. I'm willing to knock some handicapped people and old ladies over to get one. I did catch one for Michelle. She said we were in Vegas, and at the end of the night they bring the lights down. And if I went to Robert and said, "Give me a Bible," he wouldn't do it. He says he got to actually catch it. It's a divine intervention or something.
Said, "Okay, throw it to me."
That's what I tried. Well, Oz tried. Oz tried it once, but he didn't want to be so obvious. And then I said, "This is because I'm half Jewish, isn't it? You're getting even still." But he laughed. But so I told her, "Okay, I'm going to get it." So at the end of the night, they don't bring the house lights back up, the stage lights. Excuse me. It's pitch black. Robert comes down. He kisses each Bible and tosses them, and no one could see him. No one knew he was going to do it except me. So I went and I beat up children and older women and
I would. I would.
Yeah.
And she said, so afterwards we went backstage, and I'm friends with them. They're great guys. And she wanted to get the Bible signed, which is a thing that presidential types and rock bands apparently do. And so I said, "Do you want Perry Richardson to sign your Bible?" And she said yes. She was fine with and she's a Firehouse fan, so she got the complete modern lineup. Perry is not as much. I don't know how you say it, but I don't think he's as Christian as the other guys. He might be Christian, but he's it's a little different. What do you got there? What is that?
Look at that.
One of those tour books I picked up in Japan.
Oh
That's
man, look
great.
at
Oh,
the
yeah, you
jacket
gotta
on
bring it.
Tim Gaines. That's a cool jacket. He looks like
Yeah.
MacGyver kind of. And
There's
that.
the kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, check
So
them
we-
out. See, they kind of did what Twisted Sister did. On the front,
Yeah,
you've got
I'll
them like
take that
in their
off. It's
street
better.
gear,
Okay.
and in the back, it's like stage gear.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
Twisted
it's-
Sister
it is
had the
nice.
one out where
Let me
you flip
find
it
it.
upside down, and it's like,
Ooh.
whoa. look at
Japan
that.
always made better merch. Look at that. Look how cool that is.
Oh, come on. There you go.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyway,
666.
this was $7. I found it at a vintage shop in Japan. I was in Japan this weekend.
How crazy. Well, we're going to get to Japan, but anyway, the three of us should go see Stryper. That would definitely be heaven and hell.
I've never seen Stryper. I'd love to.
You know,
They might say, "Aren't you the boy who sings I love to say fuck?" You know.
I'll be like, yes, I am.
well, you
See,
know
I have
who
a
I
similar
used to
story.
always see?
I used to sell Bibles on one of my tours. I used to just take them from the hotels every night. Tell my band like, hey, when you check out in the morning, just grab your Bibles, and we sold
great.
them every night. $100 signed every night.
That is great. I love it.
I used to see Twiggy from Manson at Stryper shows all the time. He was a huge Stryper fan.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and
He used to play
Stryper-
it all the time. I'd go backstage and hang out with those guys, and he's always had Stryper blasting, so it was always fun.
Stryper played a festival with King Diamond, and they met him, and they took pictures, and they had a great. Those guys are more open-minded than you think. Someone said to me, we were all in the van, and somebody said, "Those guys really into the Christian thing?" And I said, "What, are you crazy?" Yeah, but it's like it's not a gimmick. Yeah, they're Christian, but they're not. They don't preach, and they don't this, and they don't that. They're very normal guys. They like to have a drink, and they're good guys, and we should all go see them. I'll wrap up this Queensryche thing, and then I want to get to these people who are so nice enough to super chat. But so after the show, we go backstage. There's a communal area, and all the Queensryche guys are there. And Todd Latour, everybody comes over to kiss Bloss's ring, so to speak. They love Bloss. And I'll tell you, Bloss is playing better than he's ever played. And a lot of people have only seen him in Slaughter. So now they're seeing him after touring with TSO, Blue Man Group. They see how well he plays. So Todd Latour comes over and he tells Bloss how great it is to meet him. And then he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, hey, yeah, we met a bunch of times." And I go, "He knows. He knows." I could tell by the disappointment. He knows. Then the drummer comes over, who I called not Rockenfield. And he's very nice too, by the way. And he seemed like a very good drummer. But he really loved Bloss. And he told Bloss it was such an honor to meet him. So for the rest of the night, me and Johnny could not let it go. We kept telling Bloss that everyone is honored to meet him and he's royalty. And Bloss is the quietest guy you'll ever meet. And he just would he's easy to pick on, but he's a good sport. So Bloss was in the magazines back in the day. They had a thing called Hunk of the Month, where you would have a metal pinup guy with his shirt off. And so for the next 2 or 3 days, wherever we went, I would make sure that people knew that Bloss was royalty because he was the hunk of the month. I will also say that at the next night, the club that we were at, they played The Wildlife by Slaughter before we went on. And as Stephen came off the stage, they played Real Love, which featured Shannon Doherty in the video. And Bloss said, "There's no question Dana called the venue and told them that they got to play Slaughter songs," jokingly. But anyway, Queensryche, it's just not for me. They announced them today on the cruise. When I see them, I'm going to be very polite, as I always am. All right, Sean Brown is incredibly generous. He's always the most generous patronist. I don't know if that's the word. "Hello, Jason and Wednesday 13. He posted this before Sean joined us. "Today, I found my copy of the Freddy versus Jason soundtrack that I bought when I was 16 in 2003. Could Wednesday please explain the process as to how the Murder Does song, Welcome to the Strange, was selected for the movie. I didn't even know this.
That was my first movie soundtrack, horror movie soundtrack that we were on. We're not on many at all, but that was the first one. And we were on Roadrunner Records, and Roadrunner Records put out the soundtrack for that movie. So I thought it was a no-brainer that we'd be on it. But there is some drama behind it. It's a pretty cool story because it just shows the power of Joey Jordison at the time and Slipknot, because we were finishing up a tour with Iron Maiden. We were literally on a ferry coming back from maybe the Netherlands, or not Netherlands, from Scandinavia. It was a long boat ride, and we were partying with the Iron Maiden crew guys and drinking with all those English guys, and either way, I had to get away from them because those guys could drink all day long. And I went to the center of the boat, and there was one computer. So this is 2002 or 2003, and so there's one computer on the boat, and Jason left us. Either way, I'll finish my story. Or is he there? Oh, no, sorry.
I think he's gone to pee.
So there's one computer on the boat, and I got on the internet. I think I was on Blabbermouth, and it said Freddy versus Jason soundtrack, and I'm like, cool, Roadrunner, we got to be on this. And I'm reading the track listing, and it's like every band that's on Roadrunner, and we're not on it. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. They know, and I knew who put that whole thing together. I was like, this is conspiracy. And we were starting to hear at that time that the label was trying to shut down Murder Dolls and Stone Sour because they wanted Slipknot to return. I know that sounds crazy, but they were trying to be like, let's finish this up. So they didn't want to do anything to promote it, to make it any better. So either way, I went and told Joey, we're on this boat, and I'm like, there's a soundtrack coming out and we're not on it. And he got so pissed off about it. He gets on a phone, calls his manager from the middle of the ocean somewhere, and is like, I can't believe Roadrunner's doing this to me. That's disrespectful for me. Why would they? He was drunk anyway, calling him about this. And he's like, if they don't put us on the soundtrack, I'm quitting Slipknot right now. And we're just like, and I was like, whoa, all right, let's see what happens. And I'm not even lying. Within an hour and a half, I went and checked the internet again, and they reposted that article, and we were like track 5. Like, I'm not joking. Like, he literally made that. He goes, I better see it online that it's like that.
It doesn't sound crazy at all. People have done that for ages. Use bands against each other. Aerosmith at one point, Steven Tyler was in rehab and things. I'm talking about the 80s when Jimmy Crespo was in the band, and they were going to make a record without him. Singer, her name was Marge Raymond. It was called Renegade. They were going to make basically an Aerosmith record without Steven Tyler. They basically put it together to sort of tell Steven Tyler, you better get off your ass, so we'll put this out instead. And so these bands always have that, and I'm sure they wanted Joey to go back to Slipknot. But anyway, a very good question by Sean, and a very interesting answer. Very cool. Jason versus Freddy. Did we like that movie?
I wanted to, because we were on the soundtrack. I was so disappointed in it. I don't know. It wasn't for me. But also, I've only watched it once in the theater, and but I don't know.
Sean, what do you think?
It's mindless fun. If you watch it now, I think you'll appreciate it more. It's not a good movie. It's just fun. It's just like it's like watching a Godzilla versus Kong movie, just fighting, ridiculous. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I think
oddly enough, I dropped a video today that deals with the props from that movie. But,
wow!
Yeah, I haven't watched. Yeah, our expectations may have been too high. We what we wanted. So I saw it once in the theater, and it was kind of the same thing. Although I remember having some, as you said, mindless fun, and the Kong Godzilla thing is a good analogy. I think we just thought it up too much. Have you been to the locations of that movie?
No, it was shot in Vancouver. I haven't done that one.
Sounds like
there really isn't anything.
Now that I'm thinking more about this soundtrack, I know why. There's so many politics about that, because I remember they were trying to shut Stone Sour and Murder Dolls down, and Stone Sour had a hit with that Spider-Man soundtrack, and we were blowing up in the UK, and when that soundtrack, I remember they gave the lead song to that El Nino band. And that was a whole other argument that, like, I
Mhm.
remember Joey was like, I can't believe you're giving that video to them. That should have been us on Elm Street, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was a whole big deal. But I guess we
Sean, can
didn't.
you talk about who we talked about you representing, or was it too soon?
Oh, that I'm repping Corey Taylor again.
Well, I guess we could talk about it. Yeah.
No,
Oh.
we can't talk about that.
Okay. Well, for those of you watching,
Yeah,
uh,
I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's official, so. But
well,
yeah.
we have a lot of Slipknot fans who watch, obviously, because of Joey Jordison. Wednesdays, obviously Wednesday owes a lot to Joey. Joey discovered Wednesday for the most part, I would say, right?
Yeah,
Wednesday?
I'm friends with Corey. I saw Corey at Mad Monster in Charlotte, and he came by and said he came over to and you saw how crazy that was for him, that he didn't have a break that day. He signed up all day or all weekend or whatever. He came over to say hello to me. I've toured with Stone Sour too, so it goes way back, So I got to know all those guys through Joey. So Corey's always been good to me.
Yeah, well, and like I'm saying, we have a lot of fans who like both. Okay, Mark Sanchez. Hey guys, new fan of Wednesday 13 music. His voice reminds me of Jesse Malin of D-Generation. Has he been told that before?
No, but I love Degeneration. That's one of my favorite albums of the '90s, probably. Yeah, that
Let's
first one. I like the No Lunch album they had on Capitol, but that first one that came out before that was, I don't know, it had something about it. That's one of my favorites.
Well, we wish our best to Jesse. He's been having some
Yeah.
serious health issues. I don't know where it stands now. Howie Pyro of the band passed
Yep.
away. He's buried at Hollywood Forever. He has a very cool. I think Linda Ramone took care of it, but
Yeah.
that's where he's buried, and has a very cool grave. But Jesse he's essentially paralyzed, but he may be able to get use back. But he had a spinal problem, and he went overseas to work on it, or get treatment, I should say. And so hopefully,
Yeah. He's a great front man. I mean, even his acoustic stuff's way different than Degeneration, but when they were a band in their prime, they were unstoppable. Like, for me, that was just like, it was I don't know, it was like it had a Ramones kind of vibe to it. Like, just
absolutely.
yeah, it was really cool.
They did a tour, a Heartbreakers tour, and Jesse would get up and play a few of the songs. The lineup I saw, it was weird. It was Clem Burke on drums, who they toured with the Heartbreakers at one point. Glenn Matlock on bass, who also Sex Pistols did. The song "New York Boys" was about Sex Pistols. They went back and forth, and then Mike Ness played Johnny Thunders for the most part, which was really strange.
Oh,
I
cool.
really like Mike Ness. I like Social
Yeah,
Distortion.
me
I didn't
too.
learn about that band until way later in life. In New York City, there was no such thing as Social Distortion. When I came to
Yeah.
the West Coast, I looked at him. I went, "Oh, now I see where Green Day and a lot of these people kind of got some of their characteristics." Billy Joe was supposed to do it. He's the kind of guy who will go do anything. He'll play a club. He is the least like spoiled, jaded rock star, but he just couldn't work it out the schedule. So they got Ness, and then Walter Lore of the Heartbreakers sang. He was the only living Heartbreaker. He's passed. Um, and so Jesse Malin did get up and play. He would put on a lot of those shows. He owns clubs in New York. And,
Yeah, you had what, Coney Island High? That's where Degeneration started
that was
playing.
the first one. And then
Yeah.
he owns, I can't think of the top of my head because I haven't been to New York in a while. This is Mistress Macabre 13. I'm assuming she's a fan of Wednesdays. She says, I'm taking a week off work and attend as many of your East Coast dates as possible, including meet and greets if you're having them, I hope. And we talked about it. He is. I really want to meet you. Also, is your Patreon still active? It's a good question.
All right, I'll answer both questions. Meet and greets are available right now if you go to officialwednesday13.com. It should be on the front page there. It shows the UK, USA, and so click on there, find the date, and it's separate from the venue. Last year, I had my VIPs through the venues, but this isn't my tour, so things are done different. And there's VIPs for every date there. So you can do that. My Patreon, yes, it's still active, but as far as all the tiers, I'm slowly phasing those out, and I'm going to be doing something new and maybe shutting that page down altogether at some point, maybe by the end of the year. So
So
yes,
what
it's
you're
still
saying
active.
is that tears are falling. Um, Yak,
Wow.
thank you.
Good
Yak
one.
says,
Good one.
Sean kept a straight face. He's heard so many kiss puns that didn't even face him. Yak says, has there been a replacement for Roman? And I think you call him Roman.
Yes.
And there is a replacement. His name is Ashay, but I call him
Yes.
Ashley. Yeah.
This is correct. Yes. Yeah. We played our first show without Ramon at the Vegas thing, and yeah, we have a new guitarist, and there's info on I guess on the Instagram page where you can see the photos from the show, and yeah, he's our guitarist now, and probably have him on the new album as well. So yeah,
He did
he's
very good. I saw his first show. He was good.
yeah,
I don't
he's
usually
very
click
pro.
on. I don't click on comments that are all capital, but this might be Dog. That's you, Wednesday. DAWG. Dog. Please answer the question. What does Wednesday, or maybe I'm Dog, think of his nickname social media gave him? And Wee Daddy. Did you know that that's your nickname? Or Wedded Daddy?
I do now.
Please answer the question. Please, I'll do anything. This is. It's always a matter of.
I don't
What
even
do you
know.
say, Sean?
Doesn't make
Weddedy.
sense.
Yeah. So
Weddedy,
that's
weddedy, weddaddy. I mean, it depends on how you say it. Like, as you know, people say Wednesday different ways. It's Wednesday or Wednesday, Wednesday 13. I've heard it many ways, and then there's that. So
Sean. I don't know if you've seen on the show that Wednesday he has a picky diet, and we were talking about maybe going out to some places like Universal Studios and seeing what it is that he will eat and not. He's up to try certain things as long as you don't tell him too much about it. If you told him what's like, he doesn't like to know what's on a sauce or what's in it. There's no chance. But I was thinking, Sean makes these videos with his lovely girlfriend Nay. Once a year, they go to the Orange County Fair. Me and Wednesday would like to come along. But we would like to see if he would eat any of those things that you guys buy. But what Sean does is they go and they try one of like every weird thing, and then they run a total of how much it costs. And you can go to Sean's channel, Malfunction, check it out. And me and Michelle went to the San Gennaro feast, and I was filming it, and I told her halfway through, I go, I'm essentially copying Sean's video. I said, you just be pretty and try these bad foods, and we'll see how much money we spend. But Wednesday is very choosy, and earlier in the show, people asked if he would eat rhubarb pie. The reason I think of this is, of course, the answer is no. Lisa asks, would he eat deep fried Oreos?
Those are great.
I tried that. I like Oreos.
Deep fried Oreos are the bomb. Those are really good.
Okay, so there's a chance that we can.
So the fair is coming up, I think next month. So there'll be a new one coming soon. But I did do a little something while I was in Tokyo. I went to a couple different McDonald's and tried weird items at McDonald's, stuff that you can't get here.
McDonald's is so cool there.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
It's just I don't know. It's just a different world. I love Japan, and I don't know. Even their McDonald's are cool.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. When we were in Curacao, these places all sound made up. I went into the McDonald's to film a little bit when we were there. Okay, I'm curious. Universal Studios in Japan, they have a Jaws attraction.
Oh yeah, you looked this up. Yeah,
it closed in April.
Oh no! Well, there goes that.
I wanted to go, but they shut it down in April. I just missed it.
What a bummer! And they served shark bites with shark.
I did get this.
Oh, look at that! Hold on. Wow, is that from Universal?
No, a fan brought this. It was it's a bath bomb, I guess.
How
but
cool.
A a fan brought it. It was one of Norman Reedus's gifts, and I mean, he had boxes and boxes and boxes of gifts. I mean, it was overwhelming. So we were going through everything, and I said, "I want this. Can I have this?"
Mhm.
And he fought me on it for a minute, and then he gave it to me. So,
Yeah, no, that is super cool. Okay, a lot of people now welcoming Sean. I'm behind in the chat, but I'd like to
hi,
welcome them
good afternoon.
and
Hi,
unless there's somebody
nothing.
new here. Sean is the host of
Hey,
uh, Horror's Hollowed Grounds, and you can watch him on Malfunction. Brian Kirk says we're the Three Amigos. I'm getting ready to go visit one of the Three Amigos locations. It's
oh,
in
I
which
just
one?
saw
Tucson.
that. I was watched that yesterday. I saw it was on TV. I watched a little bit of it.
It's in Tucson. There's a movie ranch. The reason
Oh,
I'm going is to where they filmed the Rat video, Wanted Man.
Was it the
The
okay.
same
saloon,
place?
it's all still there. And so I'm trying to figure it out. I wanted to try to figure it out with the Arizona trip we're doing. It's further away.
Yeah, let's bring friggin' Steven with us.
That's what he wants to do it. And so we should think about it. I mean, it's a little extra trip, but um,
How far away is it from Glendale, Arizona?
Michelle is from Arizona. She would be able to tell us, but I think it's far.
Hmm.
Okay, everybody. Somebody likes Sean's shirt. I don't even see what Sean's shirt is.
Killer Clowns.
Oh, Killer Clowns. Yeah. And Wednesday, what is your shirt?
Just a Dracula.
Oh yeah. Old school 31 Dracula. And I am wearing. I don't usually wear things with American flags and skulls together, but this was given to me by the Evil Knievel people. So we
That's
did
pretty
this
cool.
appearance, and they gave it to me, and I thought I would wear it. Before we started, Wednesday said, it took me 40 minutes to figure out what shirt to wear. That is the hardest part of doing a live show myself. I walk around and pick things up. I like to put my pleather jacket on like Adam Curry used to do on the Headbangers Ball.
He
Um,
did do that.
It made him more
True.
metal.
Yeah. He just and he put it on right before he sat down.
Like Mr. Rogers. And then he
Yes.
took it off.
Yes.
And I started doing it to add production value. But of course, I'm sitting in my living room. But but I have it on. Okay, I'm trying to get to these questions. So many people are so kind. Here's Joe in Seattle, and he says, I was at CryptoCon Seattle last week with Barbara Crampton and Jeffrey Combs. Both had tables. Ken Foray's table was separated them. Is that intentional? Maybe Sean knows.
Well, I'm the one who sent Jeffrey there. I had a few clients at that show. Millie Shapiro from Hereditary, Bonnie Aarons, The Nun. Who else did I have there? Quinn Lord, Sam from Trick or Treat, and one more person. I'm spacing on who the last person was. Zach Galligan from Gremlins. No, there's nothing. There's no beef at all between any of them. They're all good friends. So I don't know why the tables were placed the way they were, but all three of them get along great. A little From Beyond reunion right there. Oh.
Yeah. So sometimes these things.
But sometimes, yes, it is intentional, but not for that.
Yeah. Michelle is warning some of Wednesday's young fans to stop spamming. I already put one in timeout. I enjoy playing the FMK game. I think it's fun. I posted a clip of the last one. I was hoping to have legions of Olivia Rodrigo supporters support us. It didn't happen. But
I still support her.
Yes, but we'll support her. We're not going to turn our back. And Wednesday said because we said she's hot, he'll just go along with it.
I'll support her by each thigh.
Yes, yeah, but you got to come up with good ones. This one is so silly. I don't think I could even do it. Jane Pauley, Joan London, and Katie Couric. I no one even knows who half these people are.
Is Jane Pauley the chick from the like Best in Show? Is that her?
They're all news.
It is her.
That's I believe that is her. And Joan London, I just watched some video on YouTube of her interviewing somebody, and I can't think of who it was.
Well, Jane Pauley's a news person too. These are all news people. That's what they have in common.
Wait, is she a news person, or am I getting the name wrong?
We
Oh,
have
I
to
know
look
who
her
you're
up.
thinking of. You're thinking about the lady that's on
she
she's
was
on
on
that Role
Glee.
Models movie too. I remember.
Well, you can't M or K them. She was an American television host and author. She looks kind of like Martha Stewart. She's
Oh, not
73.
who I'm thinking.
She was
I'm
born on
thinking
Halloween,
of
though.
Jane something else.
it's Jane something.
I'm
Yeah.
probably going to get rid of her.
Jane
Yeah,
Lynch.
she's
Oh, Jane
yes.
Lynch, yes.
George Lynch's sister.
I
This
don't
one
know.
is,
The only one I know is Katie Couric, and I'd
yeah.
immediately kill her. So I don't know.
Oof.
Yeah.
Get rid of.
Get rid of, yes.
Yeah, I will
Well,
tell you, out of the
sorry.
three, I think that Katie Couric is actually the most attractive.
Yeah, I don't know who the others are.
We hate everyone, Peter Steele. We're talking about how we react sometimes before meeting people. I did see Johnny Kelly of Typo Negative at that festival playing with Quiet Riot. It's strange who you run into and who you know them from which band. Frankie Banali chose Johnny Kelly. It was his choice to have him, and he does a good job. But it's strange. You just wouldn't think. It's strange to him. I talked to him. I go, did you ever think you would go from Typo Negative to a Quiet Riot? And he worked so much with Quiet Riot that he had to leave Danzig. He couldn't do both. Quiet Riot.
Is he not in Danzig anymore?
No, he's
Who's playing drums for Danzig now?
Carl Rockfist, Michael Monroe's drummer, who's played with
Oh.
Danzig before, and he's really, really good. Like,
Huh.
I don't know.
His last name is Rockfist.
Yeah.
Wow.
Carl's awesome. He was actually, I told you, he was in that band with Johnny Martin, Chelsea Smiles with Todd Youth. That's where I met him. And he had
Todd
done
Youth
Danzig
was in
stuff.
Danzig at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he got Carl from. So, and then I did a tour with him in the UK, and that dude does a great Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation. I mean, it's almost perfect.
This is Gunnar Costin. I'm so glad you're doing a Murder Doll set Wednesday. I miss Mad Manager. I don't know what that is. Laugh out loud. Thank you for everything. Much love.
Mad Manager is a little series of dumb videos that we did on our last album that was on the internet, and our fans just obsessed over it. And it's just literally us just pretending that we're fucking with our tour manager. And there's really one video where we kind of are, he's asleep and Joey hits him in the face with a big thing of flour. That was, yeah, he got him good on that. But other stuff, we recreate the scene from Decline of Western Civilization where we're in the pool.
Yeah, good
We
scene.
do that. We recreate that whole thing. It's all on YouTube. It's like Mad Manager 1 through 9. But a lot of people thought we really didn't like that guy because we're pretending, but he's actually a really good friend. And man, that guy's, I think he's Blink 182's tour manager now. So he does the big time stuff.
I bet you they don't hit him with flour. You never know. They were asking Sean about his laptop because last time he was here, he had to go get it repaired because on the plane he got up to use the facilities and a Mrs. Malfunction, I believe, spilled a beverage on it. Correct?
Yeah. Well, that laptop is still at the Apple Store being worked on, but this is the new one, and they were able to transfer everything from the old one onto this one. So I'm still trying to save the old one just to have a backup. But if they can't fix it, I'm move on.
Yeah. All right. Well, at least they could save the stuff. Stephen was fantastic at M3 and all week. I would agree. Okay, let me see here. A lot of chatty people, and remember, we should point out that if you want to find out about Wednesday's upcoming tour, because he's doing a lot. You're going to be overseas with hardcore superstars. Sometimes they headline, sometimes you headline, different tours, different places. And then just announced Wednesday, Sean and I were talking about this on the phone. It's going to be the Cold Chamber, and it'll be the Cold Chamber, and you're going to have Twisted, and you're going to have
Fear Factory.
Fake Fear Factory. I mean, Fear Factory. Bobby Blackson's Fear Factory. I shouldn't say that. You got to tour these people, and then you, and then there's one more.
Yes, yes, and that's the band called Black Satellite, which they were on my last tour as well, and we will be actually we'll be sharing a bus with them and doing this tour. So
Do you think in these times maybe they should call it African American satellite?
I've suggested this to them, but they didn't want to talk about it.
All right. But so you guys will be sharing a bus. That's not. That
Yes.
doesn't. Are they nice folk?
Yeah, I toured with them last time, and we basically we could have toured with them that way last time, but I didn't know them, so I got to know them on the last tour, and I talked to them every day, and they're just really cool people, and they work with our management, and it's going to working out. So so yeah, that'll be cool to do that, and yeah, it got announced on Tuesday. It starts on I think August 22nd, I believe, in Vegas at the House of Blues, and then it's Anaheim House of Blues second date. Uh, and I just found out today that some of those off shows, well, there's off dates or dates in between that Cold Chamber's not playing. We may be doing some fill-in dates on those days off, which are listed as days off on the calendar there. So there might be
That could
5
be
or 6
similar.
shows that we add, or maybe 8 total that get added on this tour. So kind of waiting to find out about that. But great response to it. A lot of people listen to Cold Chamber and Murder Dolls around the same time. Apparently, I'm not a big Sopranos fan, but I guess the kid in that show had nothing but Murder Dolls and Cold Chamber posters in his wall and more fishnets and eyeliner, and that was sort of his bands.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah,
very interesting. Yeah, we're learning a lot. So you can go to
yeah.
officialwednesday13.com. I'm so behind in these comments. They're still talking about Queensryche. I'm trying to Cinderella Damned. I bought my meet and greet faster than anything in my life. Wednesday, I already had an idea what to buy you. Too, these people are so nice. First of all, they're nice to super chat. They're nice to bring gifts.
Yes.
All three of us have been given all kinds of great stuff by
Probably
nice
most of the
people.
stuff I have back here are gifts. A lot of it.
Yeah, what a great thing. And again, if you want to check out more of Sean Malfunction on YouTube, you can't miss it. Sean, you're going to be on some show today, right? What did you get yourself into?
Oh, honestly, I don't even know what it is. It's somebody asked me to be on their podcast and said they were going to do a horror trivia thing. And do I
You're going to
want to do
win,
it?
obviously, but Sean is very generous with his time. I made a decision a long time ago not to go on other shows until I got at least 20,000, 30,000 subscribers. I'm still working at it. But I feel like people hear me talk bullshit on my show, do they really want to see me on someone else's? I would make exceptions. Like for Sean's show or something like that. But to ask me questions about Stephen Piercy, I would just, for some of these other podcasts, I've turned them down. But Sean does a lot of them, and maybe I should because Sean is a national treasure. Believe me, everybody loves Sean except for Tony Moran.
Tony Moran and I'm trying to think who else hates me. A few people hate me, but it's all right. It's okay.
You
It's good
work
to
in
be
an industry where that's going to happen. When you work around so many famous people and there's so much money and this and that and appearances and ego, you're going to run into somebody who's just not that cool.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. As long as they're talking about you, right?
I think that's probably the best thing. Boy, I'm so far behind on these. Wish I could see Steven's new lineup play, but there aren't any shows in here. Well, hopefully there'll be a lot more. I mean, the reaction to Steven's shows has been so strong. People accusing him of lip syncing, which is crazy. But we've really got it worked out where it's a really fun show. The difference between Out of the Cellar and maybe some of the Queensryche records is that Out of the Cellar is like a greatest hits record. Most people know Lack of Communication, Back for More, Round and Round, even I'm Insane. I mean, a lot of those songs. Wanted Man. I mean, those are pretty big songs, and the deeper ones people are enjoying as well. Okay, that metal guy watched Sean's video before Wednesday night. Got a chance. He said it was a super cool video you dropped today. Sean, you're one of the few people whose videos drop, as the kids say, that I do look forward to seeing. And sometimes I like to see your videos. I've said this before when I don't really know so much about the topic or even the movie. I've watched you do movies and I've seen them, but I didn't remember. But I'm still interested to see what you get access to, what you show, and your expertise on some of these things. I think make for great videos, and then of course the stuff in your collection. Today it's Jason memorabilia and Freddy memorabilia, right?
Yeah, so it's all the props I own from the various Friday 13th or Elm Street movies. So that right there is featured in the video. So you get to see it a little better up close. I talk about where it came from, what it
That's
was
a
used
new
in.
acquisition, right?
It's a newer acquisition, yes.
I
If
was
you want
going
to
to come
learn
over.
about it.
I was going to come over to your house the day you got it, but I had a flight Wednesday, and we were good. You said come over. I'm going to acquire this thing, but
You
I
blew
think
it.
Wednesday.
You blew it.
I
You
think
blew it. You
blew
had
it.
it. You blew it.
Yeah, you blew it. You blew it. Yeah, I'm glad you knew the Copland reference.
Oh man, I use that so much when people mess up in my organization. I was literally was talking about that to somebody. Like in the past 8 months, I sent a GIF of Robert De Niro doing this sandwich.
Yeah.
You blew it.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Torpedo Girl, I will not be there. I'm sending someone else to work that one. I was just at Niagara Falls in October. I'll be back probably next October though for the Frightmare at the Falls. Maybe.
Has anyone done a metal cruise? I would never do it. I've done the Monsters
Tons.
Rock cruise twice, and I've done the 80s cruise. Michelle and I are actually considering going on the 80s cruise again, just as pedestrians. It would be 8 days, and then when that ends, we would go right to the Monsters of Rock cruise. We would spend 15 days at sea. I never thought Sean's out of it. Yeah, I never thought I would enjoy it so much, but they manage it well where you get off in these islands. And I told the people at the 80s cruise, and maybe I'll bring it up again, that they need to have some of Sean's 80s clients. They sometimes do a horror night. They have different themes they do on those boats. I enjoy these cruises, and
they're fun.
You be careful, Jason. I just watched a documentary today about this place called Sentinel Island.
Mm-hmm.
You guys heard about this place?
No.
It's got a whole tribe of people there that haven't even really even dealt with man. And I guess there was a documentary about this kid swam over there and tried to collaborate with them, and they murdered him real hard. So
murdered him real hard.
Yeah.
That sounds like something for your new record.
I'm trying to draw inspiration. I'm watching all these different documentaries on NASA, and we were talking last time. I don't want to get you flagged, but I'm watching different stuff to get inspired. Cujo,
I just watched a documentary on the flight to Japan. There was on the various things that they had on there. There was one called straws, and it was about plastic straws. And I'm a big anti paper straw guy.
Yeah.
So, and I know that, the turtle got a fucking straw in its nose, whatever. And so I watched this documentary thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to watch this and it's going to sway my opinion. Maybe I'll walk away from this going, you know what? Not at all. I stand firm with my straw belief. Dude, literally the only thing they had was the one turtle that got a straw in its nose. I mean, what are the odds of that even happening ever again? One turtle. Come on.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
When people ask this question, it drives me crazy. It's just the forming. Is Wednesday going to be answering any questions? When people ask me if they can, when people ask me, can I ask you a question? Facebook Messenger and Instagram. I know I do this show and we're buddies, and I like to meet everybody. I really do. I'm better in person though. And people write me these nice, heartfelt messages. I'm sure all of us. And when I see a nice, well-written message, I go, I have to give that a good reply, and then I never get back to it.
Every time somebody,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, every time somebody sends me, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" I respond, "You just did."
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I save that one for I hate to interrupt you. Tony Randall said in his book that he used to ride around the buses in New York. I actually saw him on the subway. And he said, when someone come over and say, I hate to interrupt you, he would say, well, you already did, at that point. But when people message me and they say, hey, that's not going to get a response. Yeah. What's up's not going to get a response.
Hello.
And I ask you something is not going to get a response. Just, you got one shot. Ask the question. And then for the most part, I'll try to answer it. So Mike, you used your question, which was to ask if he would answer a question. He's been answering questions.
I have a smart ass thing I like to say at the table when somebody comes up to one of my clients and says, hey, I just wanted to say hi. And, because that's their way of saying I'm not going to buy anything.
Right.
And they shake their hand and then they go, hey, and they start to ask a question. I go, whoa. You said you just wanted to say hi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so take
off.
So
you're lying now. You don't want to be a liar, do you?
Yeah. People are getting better at convention etiquette. I think there are people who are starting to understand that people are there. It's a business. And that if you buy something, you can have a chat. Go ahead.
So I'm not going to say who said this, and it was not my client. Okay, I will say that it wasn't Norman, but one of the other guests at the convention this weekend, they were discussing hygiene and whatnot at conventions, and this guest said, "In America, it's the BO, it's the body odor. In Japan, it's the breath."
Mm. Yeah,
and he ain't wrong.
Yeah,
it was pretty brutal this weekend, man. I was doing a lot of stepping back. Like, yeah,
they like the masks though. That you think that would help a little bit.
There wasn't enough of them, that's for sure.
Joey's forehead. Jason, I heard you had skin cancer. That's really sad to hear about. How did you push through? Well, I did make a video where I monetized my announcement of skin cancer. I was very fortunate to have a very treatable form of skin cancer. It's extremely treatable. Hugh Jackman has had the same thing 3 or 4 times. They say that a lot of the damage that you get that leads to skin cancer is 10, 15, 20 years old by the time it shows up. Hugh Jackman lived in Australia where the sun is brutal. They have one of the highest skin cancer rates. So I was lucky to have a basal cell carcinoma, I guess it's called. And but it's scary. And the first thing I thought is, you know what? I'm going to make a video and I'm going to just tell people what it felt like. The people don't have much bedside manner. They just go, oh, by the way, you got cancer,
Mm-hmm.
And you just think I'm going to die. And it's scary. A lot of nice people reached out to me. Brent Woods, who plays with Sebastian Bach, his band called Wildside, he has leukemia. And he was telling me, don't let people tell you that your cancer is not as serious as other people's cancer. And you have a right to be sad. Matt Thorne has had skin cancer as well. His wife had she had the really serious one. Anyway, I went, they cut it out. And so far, so good. Again, if you're going to have cancer, this is the one you want to get. But I'm thankful that people were kind about it and sort of gave me something to vent about. And now having a scar, I don't even care. It's better than the opposite. So, okay.
As Larry David would say, you got the good cancer.
You got the good cancer. Yeah. All right. So many people. Michelle, you might have to get rid of some of these people. She got rid of Mike. I don't know what he said, but yeah. As I'm trying to catch up, I blame Wednesday for it.
There was some interesting questions. That's why I keep smiling. I wasn't smiling through your cancer thing there. I just read a question. I'm like, wow, people just want to ask. One question is Wednesday bisexual? I think the same person asked you the cancer question.
Wow. Well, how about it, Wednesday?
Well, I am not bisexual, but I am bi. I found out recently. I was born in 1976, so I'm a bicentennial baby. So I tell people
you're a bi baby.
That I'm bi, guys. I'm
bi. I think sometimes I'm a little bi. I mean, I paid at least for dinner and a movie.
Yeah.
And, so if there's sex after the movie and dinner, I mean, that would qualify.
To
I
answer your
buy way too
question, I
much.
am bi, guys. I'm bi.
As you can see, I buy way too much. Watch any of
Yeah,
my videos.
yes. Sleep token. All the kids love the sleep token. We talked
Yes.
about it a little before. Sean, do you have anything to say about the sleep token?
I can't get into them.
Mhm.
And I usually like bands like that. I'm a big Ghost fan, I like that
Yeah,
kind
we
of
all
shit.
are.
But they kind of just they kind of remind me of Tool trying to be Ghost. I don't know. It's I don't know. I can't. I maybe if I tried harder, I would find something I gravitated towards. But so far, I respect. You know, I respect them. They look like they're good musicians. Guy has a good voice, got a cool
Cool
gimmick
gimmick.
going,
Yeah.
but nothing's grabbing me. So
I
I
haven't
haven't.
listened to it enough to even give it. I'm aware of it. Obviously, I mean they're blowing up. They're going to be the headliners next year at these festivals. They're blowing up so big. Yeah, I haven't listened to them enough to give them a shot. But I agree with you, Sean. I think it's cool. They're like I dig the idea of what's there. I just nothing's jumped out right at me to make me listen to it right away.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet either. I'd like to. I'm interested. Sean, will you be on the East Coast at any point this year?
of course, I always am. Probably many shows.
Sean, people would like to see the ink on your right arm. I'm hoping there is ink on your right arm.
It's all Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone episodes.
How cool! I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean, did you go to that Beverly Garland Twilight Zone convention back in the day?
I don't remember going to a specific Twilight Zone convention, but I met tons of Twilight Zone people at Beverly Garland shows.
They did one that was Twilight, and I went, and I wish I would have met more people or bought more autographs because now most of these people are past.
But it wasn't specific Twilight Zone, right? They were doing the Twilight Zone thing at the Beverly Garland? Because I did go to one of those. Where that guy was selling the book, the guy that wrote the book.
That might have been it. Well, James Best was there, who was Roscoe P. Coltrane. And I really wanted to meet him because he was Roscoe P. Coltrane. And Russell Johnson was there, the professor from Gilligan's Island. So there was people that were Twilight Zone. They were there for the Twilight Zone convention, but obviously they were known for a lot of other things. I'm so behind that someone's bringing up the Singing Bush, Farley, Farley, Farley. I would like to see the location of the Singing Bush in Tucson. Michelle,
Three Amigos is still it's so good. I think that should be our Halloween costume if we go out anywhere this year.
I think you're right. Maybe the three of us should go somewhere as the Three Amigos. Yeah, with the Singing Bush. Oh boy.
I love that movie. Have you guys seen the recent mashup somebody did of that and Tombstone? It's been going around Instagram.
No, I haven't seen it.
No, but both.
It's the gunfight. It's the gunfight between. They made it so it's like they're fighting each other. It's pretty funny.
Both were filmed at that same place. Oddly enough. So yeah, you wanted Man, Tombstone, and Three Amigos. Okay, so it's about 2.5.
I recently watched Steve Martin short talking about Three Amigos and how they met on that set and became like best friends. Ever since then, they became in touch with each other. But they asked Steve Martin what his favorite part or line in that movie was, and he said that when he goes into the bar and he goes, "We're not Mexican." Pardon me, we're not Mexican. We're from out of town.
Wednesday, any toys or gifts you would like? Mistress Macabre 13 would like to know. He collects G.I. Joe. You named these figures you wanted the other day. I never even heard of it.
And humanoid figures. I wanted some of those. They're pretty. They're not that hard to find. But again, I collect anything horror related. A lot of newer stuff. I get newer stuff, but I don't have. They're putting out more stuff than I can get. So any newer stuff you see. Anything horror related, newer retro stuff I'm into, and I like older stuff too. So it's kind of I like a lot of stuff. So I'm not really a Star Wars guy. I like Star Wars. I just don't really collect it because I'm obsessed with collecting one thing. And Sean, you probably know it's impossible to collect Star Wars. It's just you got the good stuff.
Yeah, I only collect vintage Star Wars figures. I've been attempting to get every first appearance of each character on its original card, and I'm missing, I think at this point, about 14, and I have every one of them. And they're getting harder to find, but I also want to find them out in the wild. I don't want to just buy them on eBay. It's part of the hunt. It makes it fun.
Yeah.
But if somebody wanted to buy me ones I was missing, I would take them. Classically deceased, I'll be at Monsterpalooza 100%. I got a bunch of clients there. I'll be there all 3 days.
I think
I'm gonna try to make it out one of those days too.
I think Wednesday and I will be there. I'm planning on it. I have to be in town for something. Michelle runs my calendar, but I think I have to be in town that day. So maybe we'll all get together and all right. Let's see.
Let's see
a lot of people talking about Steve Albini, and I haven't mentioned it. I don't think everyone knows who that is, but
those are back-to-back weekends with Hollywood shows. So you're going to stay that whole time?
I could. She's studying for the bar, so if you don't mind me going to Six Flags with you, get out of the house.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We've all talked about it. Let's go look at some Kiss locations.
Yeah,
and vacation.
And vacation. Yeah, we can make a week of it. So I'd like to do that. What was I going to say?
Steve Albini, you said.
Yeah, Steve Albini, best known for producer. He produced Bleach, I believe, is his biggest record. He passed away at 61. Surfer Rosa, Pixies, which is a really great album, and a lot of stuff. I don't think I ever met him. I don't know if either of you have, but
what 61? What did he pass of? That's not old.
I haven't heard it yet. I don't know. Unfortunately, I suspect cancer. There's an FMK here that looks like it's G.I. Joe characters, and I
thought it was with Steve Albini.
You're probably the only person who could play because I don't know these characters.
All right.
Scarlet, Lady J, and the Baroness. Go ahead, Wednesday. This one's all yours.
Oh man, this might be the toughest one, but amazing.
Sean, if you know, you can play along. I mean,
I'm gonna
not a G.I. Joe fan.
I'm gonna have relations with the Baroness on multiple times.
Is she a bad guy? Bad girl?
Yeah, she's the bad girl. Maybe? She's the black-haired girl in all black. She's sort of my dream girl. Lady J, she always kind of got on my nerves. She's sort of got that Demi Moore short haircut deal. I'm gonna have to get rid of her. And Scarlet, I'll probably have to marry her. She seems pretty legit. She stayed around in G.I. Joe. She's a reoccurring character. And also in the newer movies, the person that played Scarlet, she was easy on the eyes.
But you said Baroness is your dream girl, and you're not going to marry your dream girl. You're just going to have a one-time relation. And
I guess, does it say how many times? I said multiple times.
I'm thinking it's a one.
Yeah,
but she's bad. She's gonna be. I ain't gonna.
She's not a good homemaker. Wednesday needs somebody to take care of the house.
I'm being smart. I'm thinking like a mom. Mom, hey, you do that, but stay with this. This one's gonna make you dinner, but this one's gonna probably shoot you later.
Okay. I don't know why that was so funny to me, but a very good question, Christopher.
It is. It's a great question.
Okay. See, some of these, this one was asked the other day and I passed on it, but I mean, this is a ridiculous one. And I don't think that they're even going to know who this Christy
I don't know
Swanson.
who the last two are.
Gina Fine is an adult film star. She was even old
Gina Fine is
in the movies. And Diane Parkinson was in Playboy and she was sexually harassed by Bob Barker, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Who's Christy Swanson?
She's the Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the movie.
Okay.
Sean, have you seen her? Have you seen her lately, Sean?
I just saw her like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, well, you better not say
her
anything.
mom lives right by me.
You definitely can't play this game.
No, you better stay out of it.
Yeah. Well, she's not a client.
All right.
But I'm gonna stay out of it regardless.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who the other one is, so I can't really officially play if I don't know who all three are.
I mean, Out of these three, I would marry Christy Swanson. She's the youngest of these people. Gina Fine would probably be the relations, and Diane Parkinson, I don't think was ever that attractive. She's 1,000, and I don't want to follow Bob Barker. You know what I mean? That's pushing it.
I agree with you on all that, Jason. That's my
Okay, thank you. I
same
tried.
count there too.
Yeah, Michelle is like ruling with an iron fist today. I don't know what happened, but everyone's nuts. No Chuck Biscuits, no Danzig. Well, I might agree.
Chuck is. It was an amazing drummer.
He was good. I don't know why he didn't move into the biscuit business after that, though. I mean,
he could have licensed them. Yeah,
and a name for it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Most shows they don't talk to the audience so much, but I like to. What was the deal with the towel Steven handed to Johnny at the show at M3? I have no idea. He was giving out scarves. Steven's doing like an Elvis thing, and the scarves are autographed. And then a few people in the show get one of his signed scarves. It's kind of cool. It was his idea, or him and Christy. All right, I'm going to try to get through this, and then we'll wrap up because Sean's got to go in like 25 minutes to do trivia. And
I told this guy, because I watched one of his shows, like when he asked me, and I'm not going to say who I thought it was, but I thought one of them was clearly cheating, right? And I said, if I do this, I want to see hands.
Hands on the table. Yes.
I want to see hands at all time because, looking up answers,
Yeah.
Keep it legit.
Wednesday, do you still have two ghoul chicks on stage?
That prowl around me.
Yeah. I watched Bloodstock. That's the one I watched. And you had two hot chicks on stage.
Yeah, that was just for that performance.
Normally, were they local hot chicks, or did you import them?
One of them was the girlfriend. I think they could have both been girlfriends of band members at that point. One of them got married to one of our band guys, the guy Ramon, nice. who left the band. And I think there were 3 girls on stage at that. But no, that was just for that show. They had those girls were part of like a fire breathing troupe of, I don't even know how you explain it, but it was cool. And
you can watch it. I've watched it. It's a good show.
Yeah, basically that's how we got pyrotechnics on our stage, because those girls were licensed to do they had a fire act. So that's how we did cheap pyro, and we thought that would be better on the eyes too.
I had a feeling there was a license involved. As a fellow Ramones fanatic, would you do retrospective? I'm going to do a video where I'm going to copy Sean. I'm going to call it The Collection, but I'm going to show my Ramones collection, which is actually really cool, and a lot of stuff I got from them personally, and some one-of-a-kind stuff. So I will do that.
I listened to that Mondo Bizarro album recently, and I love that record. It's so good.
It's definitely underrated. People sort of gave up towards the end, but one of the great things about the Ramones is there's so much music that you can go back at any time and dive in, and realize that there was so much more to it than just 3-chord punk songs.
That's an actual record. Like, there's good songs like Strength to Endure, Poison Heart, all those songs, and Marky's drumming that's probably his top-notch drumming on it. It's like he sounds like Letterman's drummer guy. What's his name?
Anton Fig.
Yeah.
Both those songs you mentioned were written by Dee Ramone. He didn't play on the album, but he wrote the songs, and he wrote the songs that CJ sang, which was Main Man and Strength to Endure. The goal was to do more of that. I spoke to Johnny about it many times. They were reaching some younger punk audience by having CJ sing, but Joey wasn't really comfortable with having somebody else. But it was also giving him a break on stage. Okay, there was a question for Sean, and then where the hell did it go? Where the hell did that question go? Okay, I'd love to know what Sean thinks of the House of Masks guy.
Oh, AJ Good. I mean, he's a friend. I think he's got a really awesome collection. I know a lot of people. I think he has a lot of haters. He comes off pretty arrogant, which I don't have a problem with. I mean, it's just kind of the way he is. But I like him, and yeah, no issues with him at all.
Sean is very
I
great.
saw him at the Sick New World thing backstage.
Oh yeah, I know he went out. I know he's become real good buddies with Sid, so I know that he went out to that secret show they did, and I think he went to Vegas afterwards and hung out there. He's a nice guy.
Real Dead says he saw you at Elliot Fulham's table. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but he's the young man who's in Terrifier 2, and Sean represents him. And 3, and he's a very nice kid. He's got a good social media following. Him and his girlfriend, they call them young
little punk people.
Little punk people.
Yeah.
And I don't really like anybody, and I don't really like anybody's content, but they make good content for younger people, and they're kind of hip kids. And he has music. He sounds a lot like Elliott Smith. I think that's one of his influences.
Big influence on him, yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't stab himself. Like Elliott Smith. Okay. Speaking of Tony Moran, do you guys remember the episode of Chips where Donnie Most plays?
Oh yeah,
the singer in the fake Kiss band. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's like he looks like Gene Simmons. It's hilarious.
I gotta look it up.
You guys ever seen that episode?
I haven't. You wouldn't say?
I know the picture of him. I don't know that episode, but yeah,
it's hilarious.
Who looks worse, the one that or when Sonny Bono was that shock rocker on the Love Boat?
I think Sonny Bono looked worse.
Yeah, he looked like he was trying to be like the 5th member of Kiss.
Yeah.
Steven hates white towels. That's what this is about. He only likes black towels on stage. He doesn't like. Steven hates things all over the stage. He likes a clean stage. You should see the amps. The drum riser, things should be taped down. He doesn't want shit everywhere, and he hates white towels. Yeah. And so before he goes on, I crack 2 bottles of water that go in the drums, and then 2 black towels for him. That's what he wants. And he doesn't want to see the other guys have their shit all over the place. At M3, I left the stage. We had some people helping. And when I came back, there was like, I'm not joking, like 80 bottles of water. There was water everywhere on everything and white towel. So I had to go and change it all fast before he came on, but that's probably what they were joking about.
Okay. I agree. There's been times when I've turned around when there's like a guitar solo and I'm getting my water and I look over and my dudes have like bottles of water. I'm like, man, what are you doing? Get out of there. I hate it too. I agree.
Sean, my mom has a stack of Black Sabbath, The Doors, and Iron Butterfly vinyl records that we're trying to verify the pressing of. What is the best way to go about it? I'm not selling. I think it's Discogs, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, go to Discogs, put in the serial number that's on the record, and then it'll tell you which one it is. Sometimes you have to get as crazy as looking at the actual stamp that's on the vinyl grooves, and read those serial numbers, but it'll tell you exactly which pressing it is and basically what it's worth.
That's what Sebastian Bach does. He's a big Discogs guy. He showed it to me. He's talked about it. He's cataloged his collection. I want to make sure before we get out of here, Wednesday's got the new tour coming up, and the dates are on officialwednesday13.com. Sean is always busy. A new video dropped today, Malfunk Sean. You can check him on YouTube, search Sean Clark. And
bunch of
Sean,
Tokyo videos coming.
Which one?
Bunch of Tokyo videos coming. I filmed a lot at Tokyo, not Tokyo, Osaka. Lots of Osaka videos coming. I did, like I said, the McDonald's food tasting thing. I did a lot of footage from Osaka Comic-Con. I went to the Godzilla store. I went to Toys R Us. I went to some vintage toy stores, record stores. So I'm going to be doing, I found this really cool pinball arcade in Osaka that was amazing. So I filmed a lot of stuff. I figured I could get some free content while I was there.
Yeah, 100%. That's where I look at it. This cruise that Michelle and I are looking at, I made the point, all I got to do is film every day and it pays for the whole cruise. Chester asked, how often do I use this fireplace living in Las Vegas? The answer is never. I mean, it's real, but it's never been lit, as the kids say. And also coming up, Mad Monster Party convention, right? Sean Clark has some amazing guests there, including Ozzy Osbourne and the Osbourne family, Stephen Pearcy. I'm going to be there. I'm still working on getting Wednesday out there.
Wednesday, come on, what's going on?
He'll be there. But we were talking
about. To be there. I want to be there.
You're going to be there. We were talking about performing at some point, and Wednesday had a good idea that we should maybe all get together with some songs and kind of jam and come up with a fun little set. And Wednesday even said maybe an original song of sorts, and then see if maybe that's something that would be kind of popular on the convention circuit. So we can talk more about that.
I was even thinking we could bring Matt Thorne into it and record it in his studio and just bring the whole team together.
We'll be a lot of time in Burbank. It would be great. And so if everyone is up for that, since I've started talking about it, people certainly ask a lot. I think it would be fun. Does Jason have any tattoos? No, I'm the only one here who has no tattoos. It's a rarity these days. The question about what toys would Wednesday like have been asked so many times.
One thing that was kind of interesting was at our hotel in Osaka, they had a spa, right? With like steam room and all that stuff. And Norman and I walked in there. We are going to check it out, right? And as soon as you walk in, there's a big thing that says that if you have any tattoos, you cannot participate in there.
Wow.
Any tattoos. I think that's because of the gang stuff there. What are they called?
Yakuza.
Yeah.
How crazy. When I think of the Yakuza, I think of a Showdown in Little Tokyo with Dolph Lundgren and Brandon Lee. Classically Deceased, thank you for your super chat. Will you guys be seeing the movie Ghost right here, right now in the theater next month? Now, it's funny that you say this because Sean and I were talking about this while I was late. Michelle got us tickets to see it at Universal Studios, and Wednesday. I don't know if you want to come.
Yeah, I just didn't know it was already on sale. I was talking to the lady about it because we definitely want to go see it. Is I don't even know what it is, but I want to get. Is it a concert? Is it a movie?
Sean was at the concert. The concert footage.
Me too. I was there too.
Yeah, they locked up your phones, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so they're gonna.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Really cool. I had the best time not having my phone. It was great.
It was so refreshing to watch people actually living in the moment. I really enjoyed it. I wish they would do it more often.
Such a good show. So I'm excited to see the footage from that.
That's one of the fun things about these cruises too. Yes, you do get internet, but most people aren't on their phone. They use it for pictures, but people aren't just staring at it the whole time. But there's supposed to be some footage that's edited into the Ghost movie, some storyline. Obviously, we've all seen the stuff they do. The rumor is that maybe Papa 4 will come to a demise at the end of the movie. It would be a cool way to kind of change it. I feel like it's already a little soon, but
I wish that Tobias would just get to the point where he's just putting makeup on and just drop the mask thing. Just
prosthetic, yeah.
Just do your face up, the skull thing on in makeup, and so we can actually see you emote a little bit. I'm kind of sick of seeing the static mask. Unless it was Papa 2, that was my favorite one.
Papa 2 is probably the coolest of the looks. In the beginning, we weren't. I mean, I wasn't positive it was a mask. In the very beginning,
it's weird looking.
It was put on so well, and then the one where he would take it off and he'd be the old man underneath it was even crazier. Yeah. I said that. I've said this about you, Wednesday, in a very straight way, that you guys got to be confident in your relationships or your lives or your wives. Tobias Forge is a good-looking guy, but he spends his time making himself look very ugly. So he must be confident in his marriage. Sean, was that your first time in Japan? I think you've been before.
No, this was my 5th. So, second time to Osaka. I've been to Tokyo 4 times. Been Tokyo 4 times, Osaka twice. But I was Tokyo, Osaka on one of the trips. That's why the math doesn't work out if you're counting.
Planet of the Apes, you guys?
Yes. Yeah, I like the original movie. That's the only one I really know anything about because I've seen it so many times.
I turned down I was invited to see one of the new ones the new one. I passed. I don't like that they look so
realistic. The new one actually looks okay. The new one looks okay.
It does look better, but now that they're realistic, I think I'll just be depressed. If I don't know, I liked it better when it was just dummies wearing masks.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Speaking of dummies wearing masks, what do you think of Michael Graves' Era Misfits? The songs, I like the songs of Michael Graves. Michael Graves himself is an idiot, but
Yeah.
in my opinion,
I like those two albums,
I
American
did too. I
Psycho and
they're
the
good.
second one was better, I thought, than the first one. I thought were better
Famous
songs on it.
Monsters.
Yeah.
I like the
Wait, which one was
project.
first? Which one was first? Famous
Uh,
Monsters or American Psycho?
I think
think
American
Monsters.
Psycho was the first one back, and then the Famous Monsters was the one that didn't Basil do both the artwork for both of
He
those?
did.
I think he
Yeah.
And I
did.
got
Yeah,
both of those covers autographed by Basil before he passed.
Oh, that's
that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Project 1955 is another one of their things. You don't like it?
No.
I kind of liked it.
I don't like Jerry singing.
Well,
Oh.
I do have issues with that, but I did like some of the. I like some of the arrangements of some of those 50 songs. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think Jerry should be singing. Chips
About
Enough
the
should not be.
Danzig Elvis covers album.
That's rough too. Chips Enough should not be singing either. Wait, we have some idiots tonight that I'm even
Oh, is
having to
there?
ban. It's all right.
Well, I gotta go, guys, because I got to
Yes.
jump on this thing in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll
Good
wrap up.
luck with your trivia.
We'll say
Thank
goodbye
you.
to Sean. Sean, I appreciate it. This is always spontaneous. Always happy when you come by, and we'll do it again, of course, and then we'll be talking and seeing each other soon. So thank you, Sean. Good luck.
Later,
with
I'll
man.
talk to you kids later.
Okay.
Later.
Thanks, Sean. Malfunction on YouTube. Check him out. Okay. Well, that was fun Wednesday that Sean came by.
Yeah. He always brings a whole new. We could, like I said, that's why we talk for hours, because it just goes on and on, and we all are we're friends already, but we don't know. We're still hearing stories about our that's why we talk
That
for.
that is one of the fun elements. We have the strangest friendship. It's sort of an arranged friendship, as I've said, but
Yeah.
we because we don't talk a ton in person. Well, we talk when we're in person, but we travel. We all travel in different schedules, and so we text each other things. But when we get on the show, we're able to just go to town. And
Freestyle.
yeah, and I remember Michelle saying it's strange. We were talking about how you have. It's rare you find three friends who use the same amount of hair dye as we do, but like the same things, and really are all pretty easygoing. I mean, the three of us are all really, it is what it is, and have a good time talking. So, and I think all of us will add to some good, good content. And there is a community in what we are all doing.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm trying. I did not watch the Bon Jovi documentary. I will at some point, but I have not yet.
It's on my list to watch. I started watching this show on Netflix. I think it's like the #1 show on Netflix. It's called like Lockup or something, maybe. It's some prison show where they're experimenting with this prison block where they're letting these inmates kind of govern themselves. I watched like 4 episodes and I'm already bored of it. So I'm
Mhm.
now it's up to watching the Bon Jovi thing. And then I hear there's a We Are the World documentary too that I'm
It's
missing
very
out
good.
on.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
good. I thought you'll definitely like it. It's manageable, and you'll learn things that you had no idea about what was happening when they were making it and the fighting that was happening.
Yes,
And
someone tells me that Stevie Wonder suggests something to Waylon Jennings and he's having none of it.
I think he walks out at one point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I want to see. That's why I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch it. Waylon Jennings is like my favorite country
Legend,
guy
yeah.
of the classic guys.
My Instagram is JSIN_green. I'm trying to get to Instagram influencer status like Wednesday, who has
I
a
moved
million.
up and I'm up to 105,000 people on Instagram. It's crazy.
Are you able to monetize your postings and things?
I don't even know what that means.
That's what I thought. We'll talk together because
Okay,
there's a lot of
yes.
money that you're missing out on when you have that base. And so we'll
Yes.
talk about it because Wednesday's
Yes.
great at his Instagram. He's on it and active, and
I'm on it
and
every
he
day and
makes
I know
some-
how to operate it. And I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some dummies on there, but there is nowhere like the dummies that are on Instagram the way it is on Facebook. It's like a different planet.
Mhm. Okay. Is that a creature from the Black Lagoon pin on Jason's jacket, or is he just glad to see me? No. Yes. Yeah, it's a creature from the Black Lagoon pin. Everything in this house, the creature's everywhere. He's with us. Next time I'll show some of this stuff. I literally just had to have something to
I
throw
have him
on.
over my head. He's like right. He's like right there. As a stand, as a full 6 foot tall stand up of the creature. When they re-released all those movies on VHS, that was
Mhm.
they did stand ups of all those, and I got one.
I love it. That's super cool. All right, I'm going to try to wrap this up so we can all go back to. There's a fake Wednesday 13 Facebook. I tag Wednesday's Facebook. I think there was an official one that has a check mark, and I think the others are fake. Is that correct?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many different websites and stuff. Like, even my sister subscribes to some of these websites. I'm like, that's not the right one. And she's like, oh, I see you post on there every day. I'm like, it's not me. I don't know. I don't know why people would even go through the trouble of doing that. Like, social media is a hassle sometimes. I can't imagine making up pages just for the sake of pretending to be somebody. I don't know.
It's strange. It is strange. Jason enjoyed the show. It looks like a Chewbacca action figure represented. Any good Lemmy stories? I could tell a million Lemmy stories. Wednesday could probably tell some too. Let's save it for another time. That's like that. You,
Yeah.
you hit on something that I can't tell it in a minute. But I mean, I've been to Lemmy's house. I co-wrote a movie that Lemmy was in. I've seen him a million times, and we'll tell some great stories. But you'll have to remind me on another day. There's a bunch of fake Steven. Look, there's a fake waste some time with Jason Green web store, and I should say, with peace and love, don't buy anything from it. It's not
No.
real. It's bot created, but they run a thing, and it's a picture of me with a Christmas wreath. I mean, it's my logo. Lee Bishop created the artwork, but they'll sell it to you. But I don't know if you'll get the items, and so I'm working on merch and all those things, but it takes time. Luckily, Michelle is going to be an attorney soon, and she can cease and desist for both. We're both going to need it. And Jason says he's getting rich off the bootleg Jason Green web store. Anyone need a Christmas shirt? So, um, well, the time. Where does the time go? I mean, we
I'm just
just.
hoping that Michelle getting involved with all this legal stuff can hopefully get us to possibly meet Judge Judy one day. Is all I'm hoping.
Mhm.
That would
I've told,
be awesome.
I think I've said this on the store the show before, but the school that Michelle went to, Stacy Keenan was an alumni, and she was on the show called My Two Dads, and she was on a show called Step by Step, and she was always kind of cute.
Hmm.
Anyway, she's now like a major district attorney, I think is what it's called, or prosecutor. I don't know. She's a big shot in LA. She goes by her given name, but she's been to the school a few times, and she's done reunions of her shows. But I said I'm going to Michelle's graduation, and right after the graduation, I'm flying to Oklahoma. But I said, I hope that she's going to be the keynote speaker, but she said it's just some other legal mumbo jumbo. Angie with the 666, I'm going to owe Wednesday a dinner after this. Always a good time. Thank you guys. Looking forward to seeing Wednesday in September. There'll be a lot more Wednesday content. He's always here if he's up for it. I'm always happy when he
Yeah.
stops by. And I think
This is
we
my
have
only time
fun.
a week that I actually talk to people. I don't really do anything. I mean, I do stuff on. I mean, obviously, but I don't actually sit and talk to anyone this length of time, except for once a week, and it's good because it's just random stuff. It's not all about business stuff, and yeah, it's fun. And like I said, just the conversations go everywhere.
Yeah, and it's I joke that it's therapy in a sense.
Yeah.
You talk, and I meant to say it when Sean was here, but one of the qualities that the three of us all share is that what you see is what you get for the most part. There's really no bullshit here. We've answered things that maybe some people wouldn't. We've been honest. We have fun. We're okay making fun of ourselves as well. And it's a rare
Yes.
quality that you find people who are in entertainment. um, Wednesday could easily be reclusive and just be the Wednesday 13 character and not come
Yeah.
talking about which GI Joe toys he'd like to have sex with.
Oh, well, that's not the first time I've thought about it.
You were prepared, yeah. I can
I
tell.
was. I'm like, yeah, I've been thinking about this since I was like a little kid.
You're like, it's about time this knowledge got some use.
Exactly.
Um, all right. Well, does Phil Lewis wear a wig? I mean, it's too late in the show to dive into this. And
You know,
me-
we've talked about this, not about Phil Lewis wearing a wig. I don't know if he does or not, but we've talked about, I've asked you, who of these guys had wigs back in the day? Like, I am like, I never really thought about it, but now I think about it sometimes and I go, man, is that, could that be? And I'm
well,
thinking
I just got
possibly,
I just got back from the M3 festival, and I can tell you, I saw a lot of hair assistants. I will tell you that I was with Kelly Nichols, who I spoke to yesterday. Maybe he'll come back, but we flipped over the back of the LA Guns record, and I said, "Could you point out everyone wearing a wig in this picture?" And he said, "Of course." And he took a Sharpie and he pointed to two people out of
whoa,
out of
that's,
five.
that's crazy. Because
And
it's
he
the
said,
thing, I dyed my hair black because I read the LA Guns used that black hair dye, and then
mhm,
here I am dyeing my hair black, and then like that's, I don't know, that's like finding out that the Vietnam War and the Gulf of Tonkin. That's like finding out that information. I'm not going to get into it, get you your
"No,
station
we're in
flag,
trouble."
but you know what I mean.
I think LA Guns was a big influence on my black hair too, and I knew Tracy Gunn when I was dyeing it. And I think he even joked, "Well, you're ready to be in LA Guns now,"
I think I
Yeah.
had a picture in one of my yearbooks of wearing the Hollywood Vampires T-shirt because they had like a really high print on it. You could actually see a little bit of it. And Skid Row had those shirts too, where their logo would go up on the collar.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
So I think I had my driving permit. I had my Skid Row shirt, and you could see my Cobra, not GI Joe, but I just had like a Cobra snake earring, just one hanging. Thought that
How
was cool.
funny. Yeah, it's
Yeah, just one to show people I was not by.
there was an LA Guns live video from Japan, and years later I watched it. Maybe it was 1988, and I saw the hair, and it was so ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. And then I said, "How, as a kid, did I not notice that these guys are wearing wigs?" But anyway,
Right.
but that's a
What?
topic for another day.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, I don't want to. I feel like if we did it, if we talked about that on the show, it'd make a lot of people mad probably because they probably don't people to know that. But how many wigs like that band Tiger Tails? I love that band. Those their hair looked insane. Were those wigs too? What's
Hmm. I'm not going to
are you
say.
telling me? I'm doing all this. I could just be wearing a wig and not have to do all
I'm
this
not. Gonna,
product.
I'm not going to say yes or no to certain things. Well, I'll say this is not correct. This is half correct on the screen. But I will tell you that Tammy and I had a great talk with Tammy. I like Tammy a lot, and Tammy
Tammy's
likes
awesome.
you as well.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a good dude.
he's a good guy. He is who he is. No bullshit with him either. He's a sports fan, and Tammy knows a lot of things. He's not what you would expect, or I don't know what you'd expect. But anyway, we had a long talk, and he also confirmed one of these people wearing a wig. We joked a story about him involved with one of these people wearing a wig, and I'll tell you off the air the
Right.
story, but it's a good one. Okay, I've had such a great time chatting, and I look forward to doing it again. And I hope Wednesday you'll come back next Wednesday.
Yeah,
And
I'm usually free on this. I do a live thing on my Patreon fan club page, which usually do those on Wednesdays, but now I do your show. I don't like to do both because I'll be sitting here all day, and it's just. So I'm gonna do another one of my live stories on my Patreon this week. So fans that are here that are wondering, I'll be on there probably on Friday. And but yeah, next Wednesday I should be around. The only thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to start getting together with our drummer and how you say Ash's name? How do you say it? Ashe?
Shay, yeah,
Ashe, yes. And we're going to start working on these demos for new music I wrote. I've got about 14 or 15 new song ideas I want to try out with them and see how it goes. And if those are good, then that might focus on being the record and going to start recording and. Hopefully that'll take me into that tour in August, and I'll be busy from here on out.
yeah. I think Yeah, that's all good stuff ahead. And Chris says, hit the like button. Yeah, please hit the like button. It's appreciated. What was the question? Any updates to your Patreon coming? Yeah, we finally got to a place where everything's been mailed out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up clips from tour diaries that no one's ever seen before. And I'm going to put clips up from M3 and things like that that no one's going to see for a few months because I'm behind. I've been editing tour diaries all day. Going to edit more when we get off. I'm on part 52. I got content for the rest of my life, so
That's good.
it's a good thing. And I did some content at the Sick New World featuring the
yeah.
headliner Wednesday 13. You were
That's
the
right.
headliner in my eyes because I was gone before I saw anybody else.
That's right. I didn't really see any, but I don't think I watched any bands at the festival. I watched them from a distance. I watched from my hotel. I saw I heard Alice in Chains, and I think I saw Gary. I say Gary Newman. Gary Newman was there.
Danny Elfman.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, we watched a little bit from the parking lot before we met you, but all right, we'll be back on Wednesday, and there'll be lots more fun. I thank everybody for the super chats and for the comments and for the fun, and we'll do it again soon. I'm working on an outro song. Like right now, an outro song should come on, even if it's the intro song. But there should be something that's
Incredible
different.
Hulk walk off
Yes,
scene.
a sad kind of music.
Just break it down at the very end and just say something really horrible at the end, and then just
But
play that. And then like you
yeah.
just leave, but you keep turning over your shoulder and like looking like I'm leaving. I'm leaving, but no, I want to still look behind.
Act like I'm being held hostage. Yeah, but since I don't have that for now, I'll just I'll play the intro. We'll see you again soon.
Just wanna waste some time with you.